A lot of people ask me what happens at the actual formal hearing. At a formal hearing, there are typically four people in the room. There is you, the petitioner, is what you're called. There is your attorney, that would be me, and then there is a hearing officer who is an administrative law judge that listens to your case. And in addition to that, there is an attorney that works for the Secretary of State that works against you. So if you go in there, our whole goal is to try to prepare you so that you're ready for any questions they might ask you. When clients retain us, we prepare you, and the whole goal is to ask you 95% of the questions at that hearing. And what we found is rather than let the Secretary of State ask you a ton of questions and get you confused and nervous, we can prepare you, we can go through the facts of the case over and over and over until your nerves are calmed. We prepare you through that process, and then at that point, you are comfortable with the hearing. Once we get into the hearing, if it's an in-person hearing, we submit the documents, your records, your treatment documents, and your application forms for you. We admit those into evidence, and then we proceed. And once we proceed, we go right down the script of questions that we've been preparing you for. We get through that, and once we're done, that's when the Secretary of State's attorney typically gets to ask you questions. If we did not ask you and prepare you for the questions that we did, the Secretary of State will have almost hundreds of questions to ask you. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So what we try to do is ask the questions that we know are important to the judge and to the Secretary of State. You would answer those questions, and as long as you're credible and as long as they match the facts of your case and your treatment, the Secretary of State will not need to ask you more than 2 to 5 questions. And if that happens, you've had a very successful hearing, and your odds of success are incredibly high to get up and driving on the first try.